I'm very happy to have another young Indian with us today. Hello, everybody. Good to be back. Right now, we have with us Hasti Modi. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Hasti.
Um, Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for this absolutely out of the box idea that young people are thrown on screen to talk about whatever they want for how many minutes they want, which is not the usual case. But yes, it does give us a platform to just express ourselves the way we see ourselves or what we think about things. So I've not really prepared myself for this, but I just want to be open and frank about my thoughts, my experiences so far, and reflect on how this can be taken further or built or be taken as an inspiration, or maybe how I can learn further to make myself better. So that's just the little brief about what it's going to be like, which is just going to be very free flowing in this couple of minutes. So just to introduce myself a little bit before I start talking about anything, my name is Hasti Modi. I'm from Gujarat, Bhavnagar. I graduated as a gold medalist from Ahmedabad University in Business Management Studies, mainly economics and finance. And after that, as the youngest public policy student, I got selected into the Master of Public Administration course at the London School of Economics, which was a 2 years degree. And I served also, I got elected as a president of the LSE Student Union India Forum, where the idea was that we would host UK's largest India-centric student-led conference in the UK for over a week, which was successfully conducted. And immediately after that, I was working as a sustainability consultant in the UK before moving to Rome. And yes, I'm talking from Rome right now, where I work as a senior policy consultant at Ernst & Young in Italy. So this is just a little background about myself, but what I want to really talk about is something that I've not mentioned in this introduction, which is my inherent connection with nature and what I've just been inspired from, what I have tried to put it into action, and where that has gone so far. So at the age of 15, I started a little NGO in my home city in Gujarat, which is called IGNITE. And the first activity we did was to plant and nurture trees, like 131 tree saplings in a vicinity of a church. And the idea was that you just don't want to plant trees and okay, take pictures, put it across the social media, highlight yourself as, okay, you're an environmentalist, and then forget about it. No. So the concept was that we've seen, especially in India, where the government, like the local municipalities, do have allocated funds for plantations or like for green cover in their regions. And what most of the political parties do is like they just implement, like use that fund to actually plant trees, take pictures, publish it in newspapers, and then forget about it. Because what matters to the public and what is viewed is that they planted, like they showed pictures of them doing it, but then not really the result whether the trees actually grew up, because nobody's taking any follow-ups. So that was a gap, because in Gujarat specifically, like it is really hot, and the trees cannot survive if they are not nurtured in the initial stages. So our idea was to basically not just plant, but also nurture trees. And to be very honest, like the first plantation that we did was within the vicinity of a church, when I had actually invited the local a politician, like and other environmentalist and industrialist, my school principal, my school friends and family members. everybody, because it was again a concept that I did not want to keep for myself, that I'm silently just planting trees by myself because I love trees, or I want to contribute for nature or for the earth. But the idea was that to give this as a concept to the society and have more young people especially join hands and not just develop that connect with nature, but then also realize that this is like the one of the simplest act of kindness you could do, not for yourself but like for generations to come. So we gathered around more than 40-50 people came in on the first day itself, and I gave a little speech that I just don't want to work on the environmental side of things, but also like the cleanliness, because maybe you remember that the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was in full fledged at that time. And because it was a newly formed NGO, I really wanted to work on both these aspects, because the idea was like people just throw waste wherever they want. Like there was no discipline. So it is a behavioral change we need to bring, but of course it starts from ourselves. And that's where I wanted to even start a cleanliness campaign, like not just going around the houses and showing them and like telling them that, stop throwing waste on the road, but the concept behind it, why we should do it, and things around that. And very fortunately, one of the guests to whom I'd invited, called Deven Sheth, who is a Sheth brothers, one of the Sheth brothers of Kayam Churn, which is a big brand, Ayurvedic brand in India. He had started an NGO called Green City Charitable Trust in his before a few years than me. And I wasn't very well aware about his activities. And my goal and my activities were very similar to what he was already doing. So we just decided to collaborate. I mean, I was very happy to just let loose of my NGO name and everything. And because the idea was that the activity and the act should go on. And he had developed a very interesting business model around, like, not just business, it's not a business model, but it's a concept that he developed, that you don't only plant trees, but you also put them around, like you have a tree guard around it, wherein you have a plate on which you maybe write the message that the donor wants. So in that way, we are not charging the donor for like the tree particularly, because we get it at a subsidized rate from the environmental government agency, like in our hometown. But we charge only the iron and steel and the paint cost that we require for the tree guard, on which we write the name of the donor or whatever message they want. For example, happy birthday, and the date, and then our organization's name called Green City. So this we started across the town, and along with it, the other model that he had developed by himself already was that there would be nurturing activities of trees going on parallelly, wherein there are human resources hired to, just go to water the plants that we've planted. So when we are charging like a little fee for that tree guard, we're also including, like, giving the donor 100% guarantee that this tree will be 100% looked after by us, and for life you don't have to worry about its growth and its nurturing. So that's the concept we came up with, and by now we've planted and nurtured over 50,000 trees in our home city, and we've got the Vajra Book of World Record. Deven by himself was awarded with it for his NGO's name, but like we work collectively, and we also started a cleanliness drive called like a Clean City campaign. So this is called Green City. The other thing that we started was Clean City, and wherein we went around the town. Every Sundays we used to go to like public parks where there are a lot of people hanging around, and so you actually just go around, and like if there are some wastes nearby them, you go and pick it up without telling them anything, but like just saying, like not telling them that, don't throw here. You don't actually accuse them of anything, but you just tell them that throwing waste in the dustbin is a good habit, for example, like something around that. But that was a little initiative we started in the first place. Then we also went for cleaning the beaches, like plogging. Now that is very much in the trend, where you actually go on jogging and like collecting waste. So it's your fitness check as well, and then it's also contributing to the environment. But we do not actually indulge in that. But like we were working on cleaning with the acknowledgement that the public is noticing and also understanding to like accept that idea and take it further. Then we also started like house to house campaign, shop to shop campaign, where we also started like giving them dustbins, because at some places in the pan shops, for example, like there were no dustbins. So if we have something, like where do you throw the waste? There was no option, so people tended to like just throw it out. Then we also imposed fines. We collaborated with the government and the other organizations to like get this around. We also gave certificates if they have followed some particular criteria of hygiene for a long time. So we tried incorporating like a lot of different ideas around the cleanliness drive, but it wasn't extremely successful as of course the green city was, because green city is like completely on us. The results is like our nurturing about it, but this is like a whole mindset change. It's a behavioral change we need to bring, and it cannot happen until we decide we want to change. So it did take time, and we decided to then just stick to the Green City campaign and focus all our energies and time to it. And meanwhile, I shifted to Ahmedabad for my undergrad, and I actually took this everywhere I went. So I did partially my undergrad also from France, where my university had sent me. I also took this concept there. We worked on it, and then in the UK, in London, 5 successful tree plantation drives at large scale we did. And now in Rome, I'm trying to collaborate with the Indian Embassy to work our head around how we can start it here. But fortunately, in some countries, for example, in UK and maybe also, I guess, in Rome, there would be no requirement to nurture them as much as we do in India, because it depends, of course, on the climatic regions and the conditions. But the entire idea around this concept and the entire drive to do something for the environment is not to get that fame. It's not to just show that you really love environment or you really love plants, you want to do something for the society, but it's genuinely to like bring people together for a very little kind act of kindness, which is so simple. Like you just have to plant a tree by yourself and like take care of it, like just as like plant, water it once or twice a week. That's it. But the results and the fruits that it gives for centuries together is just incomprehensible, and it's just beautiful. So that's when little children who have engaged with us, like the most recent plantation drive, I'd flown to London on the 6th of April, and there we hosted a tree plantation drive in one of the primary schools. So when like little children are coming together, they're not only enjoying that activity, but they are understanding the essence little by little, because we also try to incorporate like little teaching around it, which tells them the importance of things, and not just do the act for the sake of doing it. And by linking little steps here and there, we've tried to create an ecosystem which is not just limited to our city, but now it's a global campaign. Fortunately, this was taken in the Queen's Green Canopy Initiative in the Jubilee celebration in the UK, and I was given the Dinah Award for taking for all the environmental impact. Like because also at the LSE, when I was as the president, I kind of introduced an environmental panel discussion in that conference, which had never happened before. But it really sparked new interest in people to think about environment, to question a lot of things, like to find solutions also from the experts that we had got on table. So it was really helpful, and the impact that is created with very small steps in different stages of your life is actually creating a ripple effect wherever we are going. So it's just a little story around what I've tried to do for the environment. And the idea is that I definitely don't want to keep it limited to myself or to the organization. Anybody who likes the idea of it, just take it further, embrace it, and start it in your own way, in your own city. it is absolutely doable, and it doesn't require scientific knowledge or like rocket science abilities to actually crack it. It's just a little hobby if we can cultivate for ourselves, which will impact greatly in every aspects of life. I think you muted, yes.
I would not call it a little thing. I'd call it a big thing, because in a place like Bhavnagar, 50,000 trees is quite big, and innovation is there, and it's easily replicable. So I won't call it a little thing. What you're saying is please replicate, because it's replicable, and I'm saying that's really the great part of it, that it is
Yes,
replicable, that
absolutely.
it is so simplified, so clearly step by step, or not even step by step, just 2 or 3 steps, that it's replicable and doable, and the impact is well known, so there's no issue of that. So I think it's a great thing, and you have certainly done it across cultures and
Yeah.
climates.
And the another beautiful thing that I realized here in Rome, especially because here there's a big language barrier. And despite every differences we have in terms of our personalities or our thinking or like our language, food, culture, anything, still I could see the same happiness and the enthusiasm among little kids here.
Mm.
And also, I had a few grandmothers joining me for a little tree plantation drive here. And we all came together. They did not understand English really, but I was doing the translation. But more than that, it was just through the actions that I was trying to just help them do it and teach that little child how to plant a tree and why should we do it in my own hand, like gestures. And she was so happy, and we are still so connected. We did it for the second time as well, but these are not like big trees that we've planted. They are just some plants which we've planted in their garden. So but the whole thing that was satisfying is like irrespective of the nationality, language, culture, environment is something which is what we are actually made of. Like the nature is within us, and so everybody will always connect. Like there is no reason why anybody would feel disconnected from it, because that's what we are. So it's absolutely replicable, it's absolutely doable, but of course you need that persistence, that patience, and that incredible enthusiasm to take it forward wherever you go, because that has helped me, I guess, in my entire journey more than anything else.
Okay, it's very good. I mean, I like it, and certainly everybody would like it, to make, not just plant, but to grow trees.
Yes, absolutely
The
true.
point is not to plant, the point is to grow. And if
Yes,
they don't grow, then it's pointless. Okay, so
yes.
you have found a way to make them grow, and it's doesn't add that much extra cost, but gives you the results that you want. Okay, what else?
Yes, so for what else I can keep going on
Go
a
on,
lot of other
go on,
things, but
go
I
on.
think we can keep it limited to just this one idea as of now, and then
Okay,
later
all
on
right. Okay,
further.
good. So then let me just ask you my standard 2 questions. They're becoming standard. I hate it, but what to do? One is,
You
what
can
advice would
innovate
you,
something now.
what advice do you, suggestions, tips you have for kids in India in 10th, 11th, not 10th, 11th and 12th, and first year of college or so? What tips would you have for them?
Yes, so I had given an interview around this to Ahmedabad University, and it's already there on their portal and on social media, which is about describing how I was able to find what I really wanted to do in life at a very young age, and how I actually channelized my time, energy, resources into it to build it further. Of course, the results are not in my hand, it's the circumstances, but
Yeah.
efforts that I could put and the clarity I could gain is something that I've talked about in that, and which I'll try to just summarize a bit here. The first and most important question that I've always asked myself, and which has helped me throughout my journey, is what is the purpose of my life? Like, why am I here? What is it that I really want to do? What is it that I'm really passionate about? What adds value to not only my life but to the society's life in a way that I'm happily doing it. It's not like you have to crunch yourself and down and like just try and make an effort to make an impact. No, it has to be natural. But then what is it that is coming naturally to you? So I questioning this at every stage of life, starting from school days, helped me identify what what actually was making me driving me and where in which direction. So this questioning, I really see that it's completely lacking in not just my generation, like in my classmates, but all the generations after me as well, because of the social media, like a lot of things that are happening, which is taking a lot of our time and energy differently, and it's not helping us focus into one of the fundamental questions of our life. And without having that clarity, it was always very absurd to me that how can I do anything else? Like if I don't know this this simple thing about myself and my life. So just questioning that, if you're not able to question it and like find answers by yourself, you can always go out to your teachers, your professors, your parents. They are there for you. And if you don't use this opportunity of the youth that we have at that point, it will be lost. Professors would always be there, but then we would have moved on and we would have lost this chance of discovering ourselves with their insights, with their answers. And trust me, becoming an adult after 20s, it's like there's nobody actually to answer your questions.
Yeah.
You have to find answers completely by yourself. And if you don't know how to do it, you would always feel lost. So in the school and college days, we have that chance to at least find a way to think about solutions if we have questions when we discuss with a professor. So I really insist on being proactive in terms of not only asking questions, but also reaching out to different types of people to get different perspectives and build that kind of thinking, which helps us in finding an answer in the end. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Any thoughts you have on what you want your future to be like?
Yes, I do. Again, it's been similar to, it's been as an answer to the question I've always asked myself. And as an answer to it, one of the things that should have been kept a secret, but I'm letting it out here, is that I definitely want to serve India while being in India at the highest administrative capacity possible, which is the Prime Minister's post in in technical terms. But more than that, it's being worthy of and developing that capacity in myself where I can be at a position where every small thought and action is going to make a huge impact.
Yeah.
And not just in that perspective, that like that's a maybe professional and a lifelong aim, but more than that, I'm also very spiritually inclined. So the questioning around what's the purpose of life, it has also helped me to understand that we are here not just for ourselves and for the society. It's also like to get free from karmas, which is a whole different philosophy and science of spirituality. But I'm also very inclined towards progressing in that direction for life.
Okay.
So both the parallel goals
Okay.
go hand in
Any final thoughts?
No, I would just say that life is beautiful and it's difficult at many times in life, especially now that I'm in Rome and completely by myself and not having a lot of Indian community around, and language barrier, food barrier, everything. you do feel that life is very, very tough and difficult at times. But the best thing that has helped is being positive, looking at the good side of things and not giving up. Like that has helped me throughout. And I think that is all which is going to keep me going wherever I go. And maybe I just hope that helps you too in your journey.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let's end it here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Till then, bye everybody.